Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about how I'm printing 1960s fonts on my 1980s printer in 2024. Come and check it out. Nobody likes to watch a video for more than 30 seconds, so here's a quick preview. This is an Atari 1020 ballpoint pen plotter laying down some sweet Gothic text invented in 1967 at the Naval Weapons Laboratory for vector CRTs. And here it is making a banner. Really short banner though. Let me explain. As I showed in my previous video, I have an Atari 800 computer here hooked up to an Atari 1020 plotter. The 1020 plotter uses 4 ballpoint pens to draw lines on rolls of paper that it can advance both forwards and backwards. By default, it can print in 3 different font sizes and also rotate text, but it can only do one font, and that wasn't enough for me. Now, the 800 has some cool banner printing programs like the classic Broderbund Print Shop, but I couldn't make them work with the 1020, so I decided to roll my own in this language called FastBasic. FastBasic is a brand new variant of BASIC being written now. You can download it from GitHub, and if you find a bug, you can actually ask the guy who's writing the language and he'll fix it. Now I needed free vector fonts. Well, it turns out that in 1967, a dude named Alan Hershey produced a book called Calligraphy for Computers that described thousands of characters using simple straight lines easy enough to be interpreted by 1967 computers. He even included Greek, Cyrillic, and Japanese characters. In the mid-1980s, James Hurt translated each character into an ASCII-based format where the instructions can be parsed out based on the ASCII code distance from the letter R. Then, in the 2010s, Kamal Mustafa and Frank Grieshammer put the whole thing on GitHub. It really does take generations. Moving on, I chose about 19 of the Hershey fonts to represent on my printer. The raw files look like this. My first thought was to load an entire font at a time into memory, but guess what? When you only have 48K of memory, a 20K font file is going to be a problem. So I have all the fonts stored on a virtual disk with these index files created that have the sector and byte numbers of each line representing a character. If you look into my code, it separates out what you're trying to say character by character, jumps to the location of the character on the disk, reads in the character, and then draws it out on the printer, character by character. Here's some more of the code. It's all pretty simple, really, taking the values from the disk, turning them into plotter statements, and sending them to both the plotter and the screen. And here's what the fonts look like. You can pretty clearly see the computer drawing the glyphs from the instructions as they go. It's amazing to think that this is basically 60-year-old code we're running to create this. Now, I can also print sideways by reversing the X and Y axes in the codes. I'm trying to print banners, but right now I can only print like a foot-long banner because that's the length the 1020 plotter can address at once. There are obviously ways around this, so maybe that's for version 2. So that's my current project, 1967 fonts, 1982 printer in 2024. What do you think I should do with this? Should I integrate it with another program? Should I post this all to GitHub? And how do I fit it all in 48K of RAM? Tell me in the comments.